So now comes the next question.
You mentioned the different types of guru-disciple relationships. Is it important that we decide or discern which type of relationship we may have with you? Also, many gurus come to my country. They gather many followers and form relationships with them. Eventually, they have so many followers that the student can no longer relate on a personal level or even get to talk with them at all. Will this type of relationship lead to success in the spiritual life?
Nice question. Wonderful question. Very. First, yes, you spoke about so many types of relationship with the master. Should we decide particular relationship to relate with you? When you decide particular relationship, it makes the whole process easy. Whole process easy. Because your mind is so conditioned to relate through some particular method. See, from the young age, you know only these few relationships. Especially after the cultural invasion in India, the guru-disciple relationship, very idea has disappeared. Very idea of guru-disciple relationship has disappeared. Modern men don't know what is guru-disciple relationship. It is very difficult for him to conceive or grasp the idea of guru-disciple relationship. As on now, all you know from the beginning is only these 4 or 5 relationships. That is why I tell you, start in some mold. But understand, you will not end in this 5 mold. When real guru-disciple relationship happens, that will be all these 5 put together and something more. Understand? When you start, you will start as a Lord, Dasabhava, like Hanuman and Rama, or as a friend, Arjuna and Krishna, or as a son, Yasoda and Krishna, or as a mother or father, Ramakrishna and Kali, or as a beloved, Yashoda, Radha and Krishna. You may start in this one attitude among the 5, but when you grow, when a real guru-disciple relationship happens, that will be all these 5 put together and something more. Tvameva Mata Pita Tvameva. You are everything. Tvameva Bandhu Sagat Tvameva. Tvameva Dravinam Vidya Tvameva. Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva. It will end up in that attitude. You will understand guru-disciple relationship is all these 5 put together and something more. Because in the end you will understand there is no 2-person guru and disciple. There is only one. That is beyond the word guru and disciple. So naturally it will become much more deeper relationship than anything else. But to start, it's always good to start with someone relationship. For all the beginners, the best is Dasabhava. Best is Dasabhava. Unless otherwise you are directly instructed, best is Dasabhava. Start that. Naturally that will take care. That's the first answer for the first part. It is better you choose one bhava relationship and work towards it. Next, there are so many gurus come and create so many followers. So many relationships are created. After some time, we will not be even able to talk to them, relate with them, talk to them. Is this kind of relationship will help us to grow spiritually? Understand, a relationship does not need talking. Naturally, you will not be able to talk directly. That is why I give you my cell phone, AG Anandagandha. Continuously you can relate with me. Anandagandha is the cell phone. With an enlightened master, you don't need to bother that you have to relate physically. You have to relate verbally. There is no need. Even just a very idea relationship is more than enough. It can help you to grow spiritually It can lead you to success in spiritual life. For example, your husband is there in America. You don't have to continuously talk to him to verify he is your husband. You know he is there. The feeling deeply connected is more than enough. Feeling deeply connected is enough. He is there, you are here. You know he is your husband. Things are happening, he is taking care of you. So the deeply feeling connected is more than enough. You don't need to talk face to face. You don't need to be physically around. If you don't have the feeling of deep connectivity, even if you are around him, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help him. It's not going to help him or you. Feeling deeply connected is what is important in guru-disciple relationship than physically being around him. Physically being around him is not as important. In the initial level, it is little important to make you feel connected, to elevate you to the little higher level. For that, in the initial level, it is necessary. But the real thing is feeling deeply connected, not continuously relating. And one more thing, the more you have the time to sit and talk with him, you will start talking all nonsense. You will waste his time. You will start talking all nonsense. You will not talk which is useful. You will not be precise, and you will talk 20 things and you will forget what you really wanted to talk to him. The main message will be lost. So that is the reason purposely I make myself unavailable, so that let these people talk to me what they want. Otherwise they will start talking which is not directly useful to them. They will come with 10 photographs. My neighbors, husbands, wives, daughters, grandsons, granddaughter is in Oklahoma, Swamiji. Please, why don't you heal him? And my grandsons, granddaughters, aunts, wives, cousins, cousin brothers, relative is in New Jersey. Can you heal him, Swamiji? They are going to have few minutes with me. That also they will waste. Something like this which is not directly useful. And I will tell them, alright, give this vibhuti to that person and tell him to apply, I will heal him. No, Swamiji, you don't have faith on all these things. You please heal him. He will not, the person who is going to receive healing will not, he is not even bothered. But these people are wasting their time, valuable time being around me. So when you give time, people naturally tend to take it for granted and waste it. So better they have less time. Better you don't have much time directly with master. That's why Sharada Devi says beautifully, if you have more time with the master, seeing his day-to-day activities, his 1, 2, 3, everything is doing very normal. So naturally you will take him for granted. All biographies are edited version of master's life. Only the divine miracle incidents are recorded, not day-to-day human incidents. That is why you think they are great. When you read the edited biographies and come and try to compare my biography with them, you will be in trouble. My biography is complete. What you read is edited. Of course, mine also the edited biography is going to be written. If you read that and then go to some other master, you will be again in trouble. So edited biographies are only inspiration sources, not reference notes. Edited biographies are only inspiration sources, not reference workbooks, not reference manuals. So be very clear. Use the edited biographies. All the biographies written are edited. Whether it is autobiography or biography, it is edited. So be very clear. Never use the biographies as the reference books when you go to some other master. If you use, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. Yes. Formless in form. Yes, come out with your question. And then hold on to it. That's all. Hold on to it. If you strongly feel connected.
Dualistic to non-dualistic. And how do we get to this stage? What are the sadhanas we have to do on a daily basis to get to this stage?
Already there are prescribed instructions. For every individual I prescribe the instructions. Overall, for all the healers I prescribe morning do Anandagandha and night do Shakti Dharana. 24 hours try to be in Anandagandha. That's all. As whenever you are in Anandagandha, you are already in non-dualistic state. You will not have the body consciousness. You will not have thoughts. Whenever you are in Anandagandha, you are already in non-dualistic state. You are in Advaitic state. Anandagandha meditation is the straight way to Advaitic experience. In Anandagandha, you neither have body nor have mind. You are just there. Your very presence. Your presence and my presence is one and the same if you are in the present. If you are in the present, your presence and my presence is one and the same. Your presence and my presence is one and the same if you are in presence. Usually you are always absent. You are never present. That is where the trouble starts. So just be present in Anandagandha. You are in non-dualistic state. Straight method, techniqueless technique. Path and the goal is one and the same in Anandagandha. You are in non-dualistic state. Over, that's all. Nothing else. Next question. Beautiful. Sun is so beautiful. Very warm. Huh? Why? It's not beautiful. It is beautiful. So warm, you see, otherwise you'll be feeling cold. Is the Guru-Sishya relationship has to be a Manasika Smaranam, means mental remembrance, or to be questioning and discussing various aspects that comes into the mind and needs to be answered. See, it's like a reading menu card and eating. First you have to read menu card, call the server, discuss with him, then you will start eating. When you start eating, do you discuss anything? Do you do any other research? No. First you need to do little discussion, like a reading menu card. Then naturally, when you start eating, you don't need to do anything. First read menu card. Reading menu card only we are doing now. And eating also. Read menu card, then you can eat. Is master capable of knowing the disciples' feelings and thoughts unless expressed by the disciple? Please understand, master knows the feelings and thoughts which you can't even express. Forget about what you can express, which you can't even express. Master knows you much more deeper than you know yourself. Never think you know you. You know only one part of you. Master knows you much deeper than what you know about you. So, Master is capable of knowing the disciples' feelings and thoughts, what is expressed and what is not expressed. That is why I always tell people, I answer the questioner, not the question. If the same question is asked by somebody else, I will be answering in a different way. Same question, if two different persons ask, I will be answering in two different ways. Because I answer the questioner, not the question. I answer the engram from which the question arises. I answer the origin, not the question itself, not the words. And I have always seen, when people come and tell me, when people come to me for healing, I ask them, what's your pain? If they will tell headache, Swamiji. Headache means when I hold their hand, I will understand very clearly it will be stomach pain. people don't even know what problem they have. By and by, continuously telling lie to others, they start lying to themselves. I tell you, slowly, lying, continuously lying to others, you start lying to yourself. You start believing those lies. So as on now, what you know as you is not you. Be very clear. As on now, what you know as you is not you. It is a small bunch of grass floating in the air. You are nothing but a small bunch of grass floating in the air. And master just catches it and throws you into pieces. As on now, what you know as you is not you. So be very clear. Master is capable of knowing what you express and what you can't express. He directly deals with the being, with the part which you can't even express. Where is the question of expressing? You will not even know that. What should be mode of communication to have a deep understanding of Master's blessings? Again, Anandagandha meditation. Meditation is the only mode of communication to have a deep understanding of Master's blessings. When you meditate, you digest. See, it's like you have so much of food already in your stomach. If you take little diging, you will digest that food. Same way, I have already blessed you enough. The blessings are there on you. Just meditate so that you can digest. The radio waves are there already. You have to tune your radio just to receive. My blessings are showering already on you. Just tune the radio. Tune yourself to AG, Anandagandha. And you will start receiving the blessings. It will be showered on you. And you don't even have to tune. You are holding an umbrella. Drop the umbrella. That's enough. Simply it will shower on you. Just drop the umbrella. That's enough. Yes. You can be in Anandagandha and do your duty beautifully. Only then you can do your duty beautifully. Otherwise, you will be doing, yes, in Haribari way, as we are doing now. Is just surrendering enough or can communicate through meditation. What is the best way to approach the Master? First thing, there is no such thing called just surrendering. It's like asking, just enlightenment is enough, Swamiji. Just surrendering means nothing but just becoming enlightened, that's all. Surrendering is nothing but becoming enlightened, getting enlightened. So there is no such thing as just surrendering. Be very clear, the moment you surrender, you become enlightened. So the word just surrendering doesn't exist. Surrendering is enough. When you surrender, there is no need for communicating through meditation, because your whole being will become meditation.